So some interesting news when it comes to Kurt Angle and his future in professional wrestling. This, of course, comes on the news about this whole AEW Hall of Fame worthy surprise that's going to be debuting tomorrow night at AEW Revolution. Now, I know we did a video earlier today talking about a potential spoiler and a potential revelation as to who that is going to be. You can go check that out. There'll be a link in the description box for that. But Kurt Angle, I was going to talk about Impact Wrestling, and we still are going to talk about Impact. I'll do a video that's going to drop later today. But Kurt Angle has kind of teased that maybe he's the name, and he certainly does fit the profile, doesn't he? Of course, Tony Khan said that, Paul Wight, the former WWE Superstar The Big Show, said that there was going to be someone debuting for AEW, had signed a multi-year contract and was a, quote, Hall of Fame worthy addition to the AEW roster. Now, this has led to people saying, well, who's this person going to be? Names like Kurt Angle have come up. Names like the name we mentioned in the video earlier today have come up. Other names that haven't been associated with WWE before, names like Naito or Okada, or even previously before Tanahashi got injured, Tanahashi, those kind of names were also linked to who this person could be. But Kurt Angle, who does have a very, very strong social media game, I must say, he has also teased that maybe he's the signing for AEW. Now, Kurt Angle posted a video of himself today, and I say today just a couple of minutes ago, lacing up his wrestling boots in full ring gear with American the Beautiful playing in the background. Now, at the end of the video, it showed him looking to camera and then the words, quote, to be continued, ... are seen at the very end of the video. Now, while it's unknown exactly what this could be, of course, as I mentioned, Kurt Angle is a name on the list of those who think that he could show up on Sunday at AEW Revolution. As I mentioned, on Wednesday's night's edition of AEW Dynamite on TNT, new AEW star, former WWE Superstar The Big Show, Paul Wight, teased a big signing that would be announced at the pay-per-view on Sunday. Now, AEW president and founder and CEO Tony Khan has since dropped some hints that it's, quote, a huge star that has signed for multiple years. Khan also said the new addition is one of his all-time favourite wrestlers. In regards to other names potentially showing up, again, I mentioned the video that we did earlier about this person, whether or not they're under contract with WWE or Fox for that matter. CM Punk also commented on who this potential name could be, saying it's not him. So don't expect to see CM Punk there on Sunday. Batista reiterated that he's very much retired from pro wrestling, so the names are slowly narrowing themselves out. Now, before I give my opinion on it, I do want to comment on when it comes to Kurt Angle, because obviously people are going to say, well, I thought he was retired, and he is, of course. But it's interesting when it comes to Kurt Angle about how his WWE run ended, because of course he was released by WWE in April last year. He was part of those budget cuts associated with the COVID-19 pandemic. And during a recent episode of his podcast, The Kurt Angle Show, Kurt Angle recently discussed WWE letting him go in 2020. Now, as I mentioned, WWE furloughed around 240 full-time non-wrestlers in mid-April of 2020 as part of company-wide cuts due to COVID-19. Now, among those talent let go was Kurt Angle. While he was trying to learn how to be a producer at the time, he was a part-time producer for Monday Night Raw. Angle revealed that he was being paid more than any other producer. He said he expected to get the call when he heard that WWE was furloughing talent and doesn't hold a grudge toward Vince McMahon when he made the call. He said, quote, I wasn't surprised. I knew they were furloughing talent and employees. I knew I'd be the first one. I was the last producer to be hired and had the least amount of experience, even though I am who I am. I'm not probably supposed to say this, but I was getting paid quite a bit more than the other producers. Thank God it was kind of cool that Vince did that for me, because I asked for a little bit more money, so they granted me that. But that meant if they were going to do furloughs, I was just going to be the first one. I wasn't as experienced as the other guys and girls, and I just knew I was going to be let go first. I wasn't surprised by it. I actually texted Vince right away and said, I understand why you did it. I understand because I'm inexperienced, making the most money, and it just made sense. Now, Kurt Angle did mention, and this is what's important when it comes to this video that he's released earlier today, Kurt Angle mentioned that WWE called him a month after he was let go. Angle said that he was offered a few different jobs, but he turned all of them down to focus on his new nutrition company. He said, quote, they offered me a job a month later, a few different jobs. They offered me to coach in NXT. They offered me a job to manage Matt Riddle. They offered me a Legends contract. I turned down all three because of my new company, Physically Fit Nutrition, end quote. So that is interesting, because people would then say, well, if he turned down all of those job offers from WWE, why would he be interested in going to AEW? Why would he be interested in wrestling again when he retired from WWE? There are so many reasons why, frankly. When it comes to the physical side of things, Kurt Angle, if you've heard how he's discussed his final WWE run, he wanted it to go completely differently. If anything, they did it the reverse way he wanted to do it. He wanted to come in and he wanted to be Goldberg. He wanted to come in, wrestle a couple of matches a year. He wanted to have that one final world title run and really retire on his terms in WWE. Of course, that didn't happen because he wanted to come in, wrestle maybe for a year, 18 months, go in the Hall of Fame, then go into producing, go into a Legends contract, something like that. That didn't happen. They did it the other way. He came in, became a Hall of Famer, then became a general manager, and then occasionally wrestled. Well, that whole year or 18 months that he was the general manager, the physical issues that he was having in his body at the time, the arthritis, the neck problems, the knee problems, all of that kind of stuff, they were really mounting up. And he did put on weight and he didn't look after himself during that period of time. And what happened was he became very physically frail and he couldn't compete to the level that he wanted to anymore. And he actually said to WWE, he said to Vince McMahon, look, I'm going to have to retire because I can't do this anymore. Vince McMahon and WWE wanted him to actually continue for one more year, actually doing some part-time wrestling appearances, and he just couldn't do it. That was the situation then. Well, fast forward to now, what's interesting is, of course, Impact Wrestling actually had discussions with Kurt Angle about bringing him in around the time of Bound for Glory, around the time of October of last year. And Kurt Angle, for whatever reasons, turned it down, probably a money situation, and probably the same reason he turned down all of those WWE job offers is that he wanted to focus on his own company, his physically fit nutrition company. So why would he come in? Why would he come in and work with AEW now? Well, he said several times at this point that he feels physically a lot better than he did during those the last few months of that WWE run. If you look at the video, if you've seen any pictures of him on Instagram or social media recently, you would know Kurt Angle at this point, I think, is arguably in some of the best shape, not of his life, because I don't think he'll ever get back to that point, but he's certainly in the best shape that he's been in at least 5 or 6 years. So he certainly feels physically that he has at least a couple more matches left in him. And if he goes to AEW, he's going to get that main event run that he wanted in WWE. Is he going to become the AEW World Champion? Probably not. Is he going to appear in main events? Absolutely. Are they going to treat him like the legendary Kurt Angle that he truly is and deserves to be? Absolutely. You've seen how they've treated the likes of Sting and other legends in AEW. He would get the same treatment. He would be treated like this Hall of Fame level mythic wrestling machine Kurt Angle, and they could do the story of Kurt Angle, the Olympian, the wrestling machine, coming back for one final run. Does he still have that in him? They could do that story there. So, look, does this video that Kurt Angle's released, does this say that he's going to be the AEW signing? I don't know. It's too obvious. It's too obvious. That's the problem, isn't it? I would be very, very, very surprised if Kurt Angle had worked out a deal with AEW to the point where he could spoil it 24 hours before it actually happened. That, to me, would feel very strange. I think Kurt Angle, and we've seen this time and time again actually, Kurt Angle, I mentioned at the top of the video, Kurt Angle has a really strong social media game. I don't know if it's actually him that runs his own social media account. I know for a lot of athletes and celebrities, they don't actually run their social media accounts. I don't know if it's someone that works on Kurt Angle's social media accounts for him. The way that I read it is that maybe it isn't going to be Kurt Angle. Maybe it's just Kurt Angle being Kurt Angle and realizing that he could post this video and get people talking and stir people up. Kurt Angle, if you look at his social media, that's what he likes to do. He likes to tie into what's trending at the time. He likes to, again, stir things up. And certainly this video has done just that. I think it's too obvious. It's too obvious, isn't it? Now, obviously, if it is Kurt Angle, this is the good thing about it being Kurt Angle, if it is Kurt Angle tomorrow at AEW Revolution, if it is revealed to be Kurt Angle and then he signed with AEW and he's going to be doing a couple of matches, that's great. I don't necessarily think it necessarily spoils the surprise that much, because if it is Kurt Angle appearing in an AEW ring, we're not going to get the old Kurt Angle, but if it's a more physically healthy version of Kurt Angle, if it's the wrestling machine, if it's Kurt Angle doing one final run and being the old Kurt Angle that we love, then that's still great. I don't think it kills the surprise of it that much. So, in reality, look, I think it's Kurt Angle probably just teasing here. I think that I can't imagine that AEW would be happy. They would do this deal where they've got Kurt Angle to wrestle once again and come out of retirement. I can't imagine AEW happy go, yeah, and 24 hours before the pay-per-view, just put a video on social media. I don't think they would be happy doing that. But look, either way, I really don't mind. I really don't mind. If it is a case that it is Kurt Angle tomorrow, that's great. that I really don't, it doesn't bother me that he's released this video. I know some people will not like that and they'll say, oh, I can't believe that he spoiled the surprise and all that kind of stuff. But in reality, he really hasn't. He's just got people talking. And if it does turn out to be Kurt Angle tomorrow, then he just got people talking, and there might be some people that are fans of Kurt Angle that maybe aren't fans of AEW, and they might be on the fence, or they might just be pro wrestling fans in general, WWE fans, because there is a divide between those pro wrestling fan bases. There might just be a group of people that go, you know what, I don't really like AEW, I'm not going to watch AEW, blah, blah, blah. And they might see this video of Kurt Angle tying up his boots and putting on the gold medal again and putting on some of the old Kurt Angle attire, and they might just say, you know what, I'm interested, it's hooked me. I want to see if Kurt Angle shows up tomorrow night. And even if he doesn't, will they be let down? Maybe, but they would have tuned in to watch AEW Revolution. So I really don't have a problem with it. And look, if it is Kurt Angle, I think that's great. And I think Angle has another run in him. I know people will criticize AEW if it is Kurt Angle and say, oh, the AEW is following into the trap that TNA did back in the day and that WCW did back in the day, and that they're bringing in all of these old WWE legends and part-timers and they're burying the younger talent, all this kind of stuff. I don't necessarily think that's the case. I think if you look at the way that AEW have used legends and older talent throughout their short history, I think they've done it very, very well. I think Sting's in a street fight tomorrow night, and again, I'm still not completely sold on Sting because he's in his 60s and has serious neck issues competing in general, but you have to look who he's competing with. He's got Darby Allin, Ricky Starks and Brian Cage now, three guys that haven't been touched by WWE. That's establishing AEW's own homegrown talent. That's a big deal. So there's no doubt in my mind that if Kurt Angle came in, if it was revealed to be Kurt Angle, there'd be no doubt in my mind that you wouldn't have Kurt Angle. You might have a Kurt Angle versus Chris Jericho match, but the most important matches would be a Kurt Angle versus a Darby Allin, Kurt Angle versus a Kenny Omega, Kurt Angle versus a Hangman Page, establishing those stars that haven't been touched by WWE. So there's a real plethora of exciting matches there, and even if Kurt Angle isn't the name that's revealed to be AEW's latest signing tomorrow night, I wouldn't rule out Kurt Angle appearing in AEW in the future. I really wouldn't, because I think everything fits into place there. It really does. Kurt Angle mentioned it. He turned down these job offers from WWE because he wanted to focus all of his attention on his own company, the Physically Fit Nutrition. We know the situation with WWE, even now it is the reduced schedule where it isn't live events. Maybe live events aren't going to be coming back soon. I don't know in what form or fashion, how many capacities, all that kind of stuff. You would have to think at least at some point, maybe by the end of the year, they might be going back to that live event situation or whatever. You know the schedule when it comes to AEW. AEW is a lot more flexible, that schedule. They just produce their TV shows. That's just it. You are needed maybe one day of the week. You're needed in Florida, which I think Kurt Angle still lives in Pittsburgh, so there would be an element of travel there. But the point being that Kurt Angle's schedule when it comes to AEW would be far less probably than WWE, and I'm sure the money would be very, very good. AEW is very well backed, of course. Tony Khan is a billionaire. They are a profitable company in their first year, which just in business is pretty unheard of, but let alone in the pro wrestling business. But because of their relationship with TNT, they're very well backed. And if Tony Khan goes to TNT or Tony Khan dips into his own checkbook to getting Kurt Angle, then he'll do it. We've seen it when it comes to Paul Wight. We've seen it when it comes to Chris Jericho. We've seen it when it comes to a variety of big-name talents, Sting being another one. So Kurt Angle, if it is him tomorrow, I think it's a great signing. Do I think it will be Kurt Angle? No, I don't think it will be Kurt Angle, and I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, you can clip this and you can say that I was wrong, but I just feel that with this teaser that Kurt Angle has posted now, I think it's a bit too much on the nose. I think it's a bit too close to what will actually happen, and I just would be really surprised that AEW would have been allowing him to do that. But look, anything's possible. We have learned this time and time again when it comes to the world of pro wrestling that anything is possible. It certainly has me, and I think everyone watching and everyone discussing this very excited for AEW Revolution tomorrow, and it's an exciting time. AEW's got a lot of buzz going into the event. The card looks great, and I think this who is this latest signing, AEW have hyped it up a lot, and they've got a lot to live up to, but if just some of the names that it's rumoured that it could be, turn out to be accurate, then AEW would have signed a really big name and really landed a heavy blow when it comes to WWE. So it'll certainly be interesting. But of course, as always, it's just one man's opinion. So what are your thoughts? Could Kurt Angle possibly be the name that shows up tomorrow night at AEW Revolution as the latest AEW signing, the Hall of Fame worthy signing? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll do my best to respond and reply to all of your comments. Really enjoy interacting with you guys, talking about AEW, WWE, Impact Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, all things pro wrestling here on the channel. So be sure to get involved with the community, drop a comment below. All opinions are welcome. If you have enjoyed this video, please do smash a like on the like button too. Really does help us out here on YouTube, go up the rankings and get into people's recommendation feeds if they haven't seen our videos previously. But most importantly, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to Wrestling News 365. You can do that by clicking the bottom right-hand corner of the screen right now, or if you wait a few seconds, there'll be a subscribe button at the end of this video, along with another video for you to watch. Thank you very much for watching, listening, streaming, or have you come across this video today, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.